Hey guys, welcome back to another cast of StarCraft. My name is Byte, and this is going to be a TvZ that actually has me in it, back when I was in Gold League. Now, back when I was in Gold League, I was in Gold League, I wasn't that great. But this game actually is one of my favorite ones I played from the time. Here, let me adjust my microphone real quick. Anyway, this is one that I actually really enjoyed playing, and for some reason this guy wanted to talk in whatever language that is the whole time, and I'm just kind of being funny with him, you know. No reason to be crazy serious about him talking all Chinese and be like, what are you talking about? And, you know, Q, awkward thing, SD, SDS. Of course, me too. And anyway, I'm just being kind of funny with the guy because it was kind of funny to me. Anyway, I usually start off with a Reaper expand, and when I'm against Zerg, I do like to get the wall in. Pretty sure that's what I'll be going for here. There's a 13 gas, which I should be taking about any moment now. I don't know, sometimes I can be a little late on those gases if I'm just, you know, going full retard or whatever. Looks like he, with the amount of supply he's got, maybe a lot of Lings Elite. To be honest, I only really remember the end of this game. I don't remember what he started with. And, yeah, like I said, I was just making, if you can call this conversation. I was talking with the guy and on some level or another. Barracks is coming down, and where have I got the rally point set to? Looks like just over here. Apparently, I wanted to go. Oh, this is before I knew that it was always cross spawns on this map. So, yeah, I was actually going to go check that one and then go to here. Either way, I will scout him with that Reaper eventually, but definitely not as quick. If I had scouted this, say, earlier, I probably would have gotten a couple more Reapers. I usually just go for one, and if they don't take gas, then I'll go for more if I already had the second one in production. He looked like he went for a hatch first, but it was a real Gold League hatch first, seeing how many Overlords he made before he decided to go for that. There's the spawning pool down at 15 supply. So it is looking like a macro game from both players, which of course I pretty well know it is. No, excuse me, sorry. Reaper's gonna come out and kill that drone because I do not want that drone to live. Hopefully it doesn't kill my SCV. That would make me very sad. Can it not attack her from there? Or is he just not clicking on it? Not quite sure what he's doing there, but hey, I'm cool with it. There's the Reaper coming out, and he's actually gonna dance around enough to really make this annoying for my Reaper. I get the SCV to go back in, and you know, just to show off my APN back in Gold League, I was at like 150, you know, just spamming my workers and stuff. And also, I click like a billion times when I send my Reapers out. Or any unit for that matter. If you don't boost your APM that way, you should, because it's fantastic. Gonna go ahead and getting that reactor down on the barracks, and also placing down the factory. I'm not, at this point, I wasn't really one to go for, say, Hellions or Widow Mines or anything. I was always one that was more of a straight-up bio player, because, to be honest, that's the way I found the game fun to play. And Widow Mines I really haven't liked for a while. I don't know why this rally is set down there. I obviously was selecting the wrong thing. Looks like I caught it though. But anyway, as I was saying, I'm always more of a bio player. It's just the style that I don't necessarily feel like I'm the best at bio. I could probably do better meching because there's less micro involved. But more often than not, you'll just see me going for bio, because I feel it's fun, and I need to learn to, like, split my Marines and stuff. There's the gas by him, but he has not mined any gas yet, so there he goes. If I had had more Reapers, this game would already be over by now. But, you know, at this point, I'm just trying to keep that Queen off of creep so it can't go inject larva. Didn't really do it too effectively right here. He should still be there in time, except he's just going to miss it because, you know, Gold League and stuff. And also, if I happen to get a Viking out, which I don't remember if I do, I would have some fun Overlord killing. His minerals are starting to... Alright, well, not starting, but they've been doing it the whole game. His minerals are definitely stacking up more than they should be. He's getting Lings in position to block off my Reapers, but they're... or Reaper. I just kind of have it out here to see if he takes a third or anything along those lines. Just going to be starting to produce those Marines, eventually Marauders, and Medevacs. More often than not, you'll just see me go for Marines on these maps because, you know, Muta's overpowered and all that jazz. But anyway, so, yeah, we'll most likely see large amounts of Marines from me. I don't know why I don't have the second tech lab down there. I should have that so I can get the combat shields along with the stim packs. There's the tech lab coming down. Then it's going to be making sure not to get supply blocked. Obviously, he's done a pretty good job of not getting supply blocked. Probably a little too good of a job. This Reaper, I don't know he has a third at this point, just because I'm dumb and not paying attention. This game was about 2 or 3 months ago, but it was a very fun game to play. I'm just going to speed it up a little bit here until, you know, some action starts to happen. It is a fairly long game, but, you know, it was very fun to play, so it should be just as fun to cast. Here's the Link starting to move out as he has taken all of his gases at this point. No Baneling nest though, which is kind of interesting to be honest. At this point you definitely want some Banelings. Look like he might just be going for a big Ling run by, but that's not going to do anything. Got the bunker and the wall coming up, so definitely well defended from any kind of Ling run by. Banelings could be a threat to bust that down, but with all the gas he's got, but he's got a bit too much, guys. You can definitely tell this guy is in Gold League because he's not spending his minerals wisely or effectively, and his creep spread is not fantastic either. This Overlord's going to be coming through. I'm just going to send my Marine over to kill it. No biggie, just trying to scout me out here. I actually don't even know if I end up killing that Overlord. I sure hope so, because I do not want that Overlord to live. Looks like he should kill it. I even set a stim down on it, just to be sure. He's got his third taken, obviously. I don't have my third on the way or anything yet. I'm just kind of more focused on my army, you know, getting my upgrades, getting my medevacs, all that stuff. One thing I really was not good at around this time too was dropping. Like right now, well, there was a drop, so I was doing that. But I really should have more drops coming, especially since I don't know, but I have a good idea that there's no mutas yet. Or at least I should be scanning to see if he's got mutas coming down yet. But he still doesn't have or he does have Banelings now, I'm sorry. So it probably wouldn't be as effective anymore. But say that drop that just gone in right there, if that had been maybe a double or a triple drop, I really could have probably killed off a lot of Lings, a couple Queens, and maybe even some drones. So definitely potential for critical damage that I'm just not taking. My medevac count getting a little higher than I would like it to be, actually, as well as my minerals and my gas. So back at the time, I obviously was just not good at spending anything. And the weird thing is these aren't producing, so I'm obviously microing somewhere. Looks like over here, I've only lost one Marine in that drop so far, I believe. He's doing an okay job of keeping Lings, so I can't go ahead and harass. But, you know, he's not doing amazing at it or anything. His inject's going alright, and he's going to start into muta production, which is not going to be fantastic for me. Actually send that drop in right there, and it should get picked up right here by the mutas, even though I am going ahead and dropping those Marines. As you can see, this army is pretty much entirely Marines and medevacs. I did like Thors in this matchup at the time as well, because you know they can do a lot of damage to those clustered mutas, and if the Banelings happen to hit on the Thors, then really there's nothing there left to have the DPS required to kill the amount of Marines. The mutas are going to be moving out now and attacking my SCV lines. Unfortunately, I have absolutely zero missile turrets up at the time. I do kill off enough mutas though to make it to where that is well worth it at this point. You can see by the resources lost, he's lost a lot more than me just in the couple of engagements we've had. So he's definitely not doing a fantastic job of his micro, but you know, Banelings are pretty dang good. So if Banelings happen to explode well on my army, I will very likely not have a fun time. He's still got mutas popping out. He's just barely getting one attack on those mutas, but he has 3 attack coming on the Zerglings. So he's definitely going to be trying to get aggressive, but he does not have the muta count to where he can really harass me effectively. Right now, I'm going to be moving out. My 3-3 is just about completed, along with 1 armor for the Thors. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry guys, I just ate. But anyway, that's going to be happening. Sending Marines forward just to kind of see what's going on. Making sure to have the Thors in the front, although if I take this fight on creep, which I just may, then that probably won't be very good for me, quite obviously. Still trying to get the Thors in the front, but that is just a lot of Lings and Banes, so you can see I'm trying to go ahead and split up my Marines, but I'm actually splitting them back into groups again. So not a fantastic job by me there. We'll see how much of this I can clean up. And actually, I do still have a pretty decent amount of Marines left. Surprisingly, I'm microing actually half decent. I had a medevac full of Marines right there, it looks like. And somehow, I was able to win that engagement. I'm going to guess that Banelings just went on a lot of those Thors. So that's definitely very fortunate for me. But I waited a bit too long, and look what we've got now. Yep, that's right, we've got Ultralisks, yay! as well as even adrenal glands, which he actually didn't have yet, which is kind of interesting. But yeah, those ultralists going to be popping now, so now I'm just kind of like, well, fetch, I waited a bit too long to move out and win that fight, which is going to be very unfortunate for me, because these ultras are, I mean, they're pretty dang good against Marines, let's be honest, guys. Marines are not something you really want against ultras. I'm going to be starting to produce Marauders. If I check the upgrades, I don't even have the Marauder slow on them yet. Hopefully I've got that in the production, because I will really need that. But I'm not even producing it yet, so that's not good. The one good thing I have going for me right now, though, is his Muta count is still so low. He still can't harass me. The Ultralist count, though, is what's really, really not in my favor, to be honest, because once those Ultras get that chitinous plating and everything, I'm gonna have a bad time. And yeah, definitely not gonna be fantastic. Concussive shells coming out. I could probably add on a couple more barracks if I wanted to at this time. You could see my Marines, my minerals and my gas are going quite crazy at the moment. It probably would have been better for me to start sending out double and triple drops right now, because I know that I need to be killing bases. I do have a double drop coming in over here. We'll see how much I can get done with it. The army's not too far away. If I can go ahead and get a few drones, though, which I am, he was very late on his reaction time. And looks like I'll be sending another drop into the main up here. Was able to kill quite a bit with that drop, and let's see if he can kill the medevacs. The Muta count is starting to, well, he's only at 9 still, so really still not doing much. And he's just going to be chasing this drop around forever, I suppose. I don't know where that other, oh, this drop is still hanging out over here. So not quite sure what I'm doing with that. I do see he's moving out, and I should be hopefully dropping those units. They really don't need to be in those medevacs. That's not where I want them to be. Hopefully I can go ahead and, yeah, I get them emptied out. Trying to split up the army here, but this does not look like a fantastic fight for me either. The Thor's doing alright so far, getting some damage on the Ultras, but at this point I really don't have a ton of units, and I almost think I'm going to lose here, but I was able to snipe a base with this drop in the back, so I've got that going for me, which is nice. He's just going to be falling back with his army, which is probably a mistake. He really, very likely could have just busted on through, at least done a lot more damage. You can see just how many drones he's starting to lose, though. If I can get this base, which doesn't look like I'll be able to, but if I could have, that would have given me a very, very significant lead. At this point, I'm just like, screw it, just gonna drop it, get what damage done that I can, which is really, I got a Muta for it, so not too bad. I'll take a Muta for a couple Marines. The medevac, not necessarily, but I got a base out of it, a few drones, and stuff like that. So I would say that I'm still in the lead. As far as, well, obviously I'm in the lead as far as resources lost go. The problem is he's expanding so much, and I guess we're just going to have a cluster of queens over here, but that's always fun. I've actually got more workers than he does, so you can tell this guy is really just, he's not fantastic. Come on, we're in Gold League, so like I keep saying, Gold League, Gold League, Gold League. You can very, very well tell that neither of us is doing fantastic in this game. I've definitely been more efficient. But he's just, you know, he's got more bases and all that jazz. This wouldn't be an awful time for me to move out right now, because if we check the units tab, there are 0 banelings. He's relying just on ultras for that AoE and also some fungals. But if I can dodge the fungals enough, snipe the infestors, and then kite the ultra list back, then I definitely have a decent chance to win the game. What I really, really need to be doing is dropping, just pulling those ultra lists from side to side, keeping the mutas active, because I need to force him to have a lot more mutas. Obviously, I'm not a big fan of mutas, but if I can force him to make mutas, that means less ultralisks, which means a much easier army to beat. And then I can, if he doesn't make the mutas, I can just keep dropping bases, which unfortunately I did not do. If I had, this game could very well be mine. Right now I'm just kind of waiting for him to attack. I'm massing up an army that I'm hoping I can kill this army with. But, you know, that's a lot of units. A lot of scary units for a bio army, especially. So, we'll see if any engagement happens, how it goes. I'm just going to speed it up again, because it is quite a long game. It does go on for a very long time. No armor yet on the buildings. I guess he probably does have it for the lings. But, yeah. Nothing too big going on right now. I'm just making sure to have my army split up back here in case he does try to attack. Getting some Thors out. I could probably split up these units more, probably split up these units more, things along those lines. My medevacs are in decent positions to be able to heal up my army. So if he attacks into me right now, I wouldn't feel too bad about fighting the Ultras. I wouldn't feel great about it either, because they are Ultralists against a Bio army, which is not necessarily favorable for me, I'll admit that. I'm just trying to throw down a bunch of command centers so that I can turn them into orbitals, and then just if the situation does arise, I can just be dropping mules like crazy pretty much everywhere. He's going to be trying to get a couple changed links out on me. Looks like my missile turret will hit that, and I see that Marine. So I'm just going to stim the Marauder down and kill that before he can get a good look at how the spread of my army is. Right now my spread's actually not looking as favorable. I have my units are a lot more towards the front, I suppose. So if he comes in right here, he'll actually get a lot killed on that army. If he comes in from this direction though, then I'll have a lot of choke with those command centers, which honestly, if I can kill the army, I'll trade a couple orbital commands for that, as crappy as it sounds. My bank right now is actually surprisingly higher than his is. It's because he's still not mining as efficiently. The SCV and drone count is almost exactly the same at this point. But right now I am just waiting for him to move out. I'm like, you know what, I'm not going to you, you will come to me, and you're gonna like it. I'm gonna go ahead and send a drop out. Let's see how this goes. Probably not gonna go well. We will see. It all depends on his reaction time, I suppose. I just go straight for the hatchery, and I am able to pick up that hatchery, which is going to stop a lot of larva production, but he actually probably still has a lot of larvae anyway. He's just going to be moving out at this point, and that's a lot of banelings. So I have my army back here just trying to kite back. The fungal's hitting all right on this army, but I'm actually fighting in decent position. A lot of his units aggroing onto those orbital command centers, so that fight actually ends up very, very nicely for me. These Ultras still here are going to go ahead and harass my barracks a bit. But, you know, I will take that. That fight did not go too bad for me. I just need to be killing off these last couple of units, which I didn't do too well, and repairing that orbital command. The units lost. Jed's putting it a bit more heavily in my favor. The problem is that when these fights are happening, we're trading, like, army for army, and he can remax out a heck of a lot faster than I can. In fact, this looks like a pretty A-move place. Oh, but I actually brought his army back with the drop, so that's definitely good for me. He needs to be picking up and getting out of there, though. I'm just going to be hitting units from the high ground. He could definitely just A-move me at this point. Now I'm starting to get a few more units, though. Medevac count not really being threatened by anything, because, again, he's not getting those Mutalisks. The only thing that can really hit him is the Infestors at this point, and even they're not doing much. So he could have actually fungaled them right there. I really just had to hope. That was a point where he really could have just came and A-moved me. At this point, probably not right now. I could probably micro this against that army, but I don't know. It's still a pretty scary army. I am remaxed and everything, but he's been maxed for a long time. This planetary is going to go down in just a couple seconds, and that's going to decimate my SCV count by quite a bit. I'm just moving my army over, and this is a really bad position to be against Ultras. You can see the fungals hitting. I'm just trying to kite back and try to micro my army as best as I can. Even that's not going fantastic, though. These Ultras are dying, but not fast at all, and he's actually going to pull back again, even though he could have just A-moved me. So actually, I'm just kind of getting a little lucky. This drop back here is definitely going great. I'm going to be able to snipe off the Queen and the Ultralist Cavern. Actually, didn't quite. Oh, I did end up getting the Queen and the Infestation Pit. So if I can get the Hive, then that would mean no more Ultralisk for a long time. Right here, he can just go ahead and rebuild that Ultralist Cavern. But he can't actually, I know for the next like minute or so, he can't actually make Ultralisks, which is huge for me. That Mutalisk count is starting to get back up there, but the Ultralisk count is what I really care about right now. And right now, he can't produce any. He can attack with what he's got, but he can't actually produce any Ultralisks, which is huge for me. We're just going to be fighting yet again right here, trying to split my army up even more. I'm getting a decent concave here, and obviously this army over here actually doing a good job of kiting backwards. A couple Ultralists even getting caught in these forces over here, and I am able to push this back again. The Ultralist count, almost nothing now. He's down to, looks like 2. The Mutalist count, though, is starting to get up more, which is probably a bit more dangerous at this point just because he could go harass me. But I've been able to hold off a lot of these big Ultralisk attacks, which is really what's huge for me at this point. I'm just going to be killing these whatever I can. And if I can go ahead and take this base, that would definitely be nice. Looks like I will be moving in with this force here. I should be sending out drops with these units out here as well. Doesn't look like I'm going to do that quite yet. May end up doing it at some point. We will see. These medevacs really need to be healing up these units. They're about all in orange. And I'm just sitting here killing off drones, killing off what I can. Ultras coming in again. The Marauders should be able to pick off those Ultras. But ultimately, this will get cleaned up by the Mutalisks. So I'm just going to have to fall back to my main army. Hopefully I can send out a few more drops though, because they're not going too bad. If you look at the supplies, you can see how much they've fallen in the last little bit. The big difference though is the banks. I have really no mineral bank, while his mineral bank is quite big. But the real only mining base I have is this one, and even that one is no longer incredibly efficient. So I need to be lifting off these two bases and landing them somewhere else and just calling down mules wherever I can. Looks like I will be going ahead and doing that. The problem for him right now, though, is that he knows he can't fight me because he doesn't have those Ultralisks right now. All he has to fight me is Muta, Lings, and Banes, which is actually the regular composition, but at this point, that's really not what he wants to fight me. These Marines can be going ahead and picking out a few Mutalisks, so good on them. Good job, Marines. And I'm just going to be picking off what I can there. Here's some more Banelings, and I just got to try and micro yet again. Trying to split up that army. Going okay, but right now, Mutalisks should be able to move in and clean it up. Just doing with what I can with those units. Thor over here should be able to do good damage to the Mutas. But other than that, no real Muta killing army here. Just going to be trying to snipe off this hatchery. And in reality, that actually just puts him down to the hive, this base, and this base that's not even quite done. He only has 2 active hatcheries right now that can get him larvae. If we check the units tab, he actually has 29 larvae that he really should be using. But he's just not. I suppose he's not rebuilding another Ultralisk Cavern, but what he is building is Corruptors. And if we look, there's that Greater Spire, so Broodlords are now definitely a threat to me, although unfortunately I don't know that yet. I've just got this little hit squad out here that I'm just trying to kill bases with. At this point, I know I can't really kill all his Mutas necessarily unless I get a lot more Marines, but I just don't have the Marine count with my army yet necessarily. Also, this base starting to get back up for him. So now that those Corruptors have popped, I know my medevac count probably isn't going to do fantastic. And once I see them, I do know that it's going to be Broodlords, because really what else is he going to do with that? I should be stimming up here, killing off that queen, which will stop some injects from happening. There's the Mutas coming to clean up those last couple Marauders. And he's just very, very happy right now that I wasn't able to see that Greater Spire. At this point, I'm going to go check if he's got this base again. And I actually don't know where I scanned right there. I think I would have scanned one of these 2 bases, but who knows. So I'm just going to be moving in again over here. These drones actually not mining at the moment. He does have him selected, but he's not doing anything with them, which is very, very good for me, by the way. The problem for him right now is that the army he has is not very mobile, and it can be countered if I got enough Vikings. The problem is I don't have enough Vikings. So I'm just going to be trying to snipe off all of his drones at the moment, which might go okay. We'll see. Looks like I'll be killing off most of them with that scan right there. And I know I can get this base, so I'm not going straight for the base. But there it goes. Down goes that base, and now he's trying to retake this one. But his income is now at 0, and mine is completely based off of this base. So, yep, his income at completely 0, and mine at, mine's obviously not fantastic either, but it's not 0, which is good. I don't know if I've quite seen the Broodlords yet. Doesn't look like it because I'm not producing Vikings. He does have 5 of them at this point, going for 6. With he's producing another one. I'm going to be sending out this drop over here just to check these bases again, because I know that he just needs a base at this point. I'm just killing off everything I can. If we check the units lost tab, we can see I'm up about 10,000 resources right now. The problem is he's got this whole game, he's just had much scarier armies than I have. So he's going to be go ahead and moving out with this army. The thing I've got going for me right now, though, is that I am able to lift off my bases and move them if needed. I don't really have to, or it wouldn't really be fantastic because he does have Corruptors and Mutas that would be able to kill those bases off. But I know if I can kill, if I see this army, and there we go, I see the Broodlords, I know if I can kill off the Corruptors and the Mutas, I've pretty much won the game. The problem is, in fact, killing off them. I'm going to be sending out, looks like another drop over here, because, again, I know this army is not mobile in the least. So if I can go ahead and just kill off all of his buildings, then, you know, that's the best way to win, is by, like, winning and stuff. I've got missile turrets over here, but unfortunately the broodlords do have long enough range to where that really shouldn't matter. At this point, I'm just killing off what I can. Gonna go ahead and stim down and kill this base as well. At this point, I know this base is gone, and right now there's a timer in my head. Not with a specific time on it necessarily, but I'm just saying to myself, okay, I have time. I need to kill off everything in these next couple minutes. And that means literally everything. He has no more banelings. I know that right now he can no longer fight my army. So I just, well, except unless I fight against the broodlords, but that's not exactly my plan at the moment. So right now we are in full-on base race mode. Fortunately, I do have buildings that can fly, and he does not. So he just has units that can fly. So if you check the... Oh, sorry, actually. But anyway, here we go. I'm going to go ahead and killing off the last of these mutas. I actually want to kill off the corruptors a bit too, because, you know, if I kill them, then no more broodlords. Although if I kill off the Greater Spire, no more broodlords either. Down goes that, and the broodlords are starting to attack now. I have produced a couple Vikings, and since these broodlords are completely separate from the rest of the army, I'm actually just saying, okay, kill the broodlords, kill the broodlords, kill the broodlords, because I've got an army over here that can kill off buildings, and an army over here that I'm just trying to kill off these broodlords with. And these Vikings will eventually clean them up no matter how well he likes it, and of course, he does not like it. So at this point, I did win the game. He went ahead, no GG or anything, which, you know, in that type of case, come on guys, GG that. That was a pretty dang awesome game. You got to give respect to the player that wins that one. But anyway, I want to say thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed this game. It was actually really epic for me to play, so I hope it was just as fun to watch. Anyway, thanks again for watching, and I will see you guys on our next StarCraft 2